Tomorrow doesn't exist outside of your projections and expectations. Yesterday does not exist outside of your memory and the history locked in it. Tomorrow is just a projection and yesterday a memory. A pile of stories stored up as history within the frame of our minds. Therefore, there is no yesterday to walk away from outside of the memory we carry within us, and there is no tomorrow to walk into outside of the suggestions and projections of our minds, which is simply our minds trying to see if there is a better way to live outside of the history and pain in our memory. The mind is a busy bee, but unlike the honeybee that creates sweetness and makes life better on earth for all, the mind, when left alone without guidance, is a busy machine that envisions events or even problems where there are none. And because it is possible that more than 90% of what a person thinks today is also what they thought about yesterday, without guidance, every day becomes a recycling of the very things that are stopping us from progress. It's like engaging the reverse gear of a car while expecting the car to move forward. It's like living in a loop that never ends. It's tiring, burdensome, and it kills creativity. But why do we hold on so much to this loop? What comes to mind is the fear of the unknown and the fact that holding on to the past makes us feel smart. But why should a person be afraid of the unknown? Why be afraid of what has not even happened and may never happen? Because the mind, based on history and the content of memory, thinks nothing else exists outside of what it knows, controls, or has happened. It is the primitive side of our brains set in a fight or flight mode. Also, in trying to project the image of a smart person, we hold on to the loop that gives us some sense of something to think about, judge, make conclusions from, and even test our ability to think. But much of what we call thinking is just a loop that we replay in our minds. Nothing new, nothing creative. Think about it for a moment. If there were no events, stories, and even history in your memory bank, and no unknowns to project into the future based on the content of the past, what would you be thinking about right now? This is a very serious question, and for starters, it will make you sit down and evaluate the content of your thoughts, what thinking really is, and its sources. And this is a good place to be. For if as a man thinks, so is he, and as he is not thinking, so he is not, then we need to pay great attention to what we think and how we think. Therefore, there is nothing like the unknown to be afraid of, just the mind spinning a loop for you to live out daily, out of its own need to remain in charge. In other words, you created the problem with your unguarded mind, while also expecting the problem to be the solution. But it will never work that way. You have to let go of the loop, the projections, the need to measure your smartness by the content of the past, and also let go of the worries about the unknown. But how do you stop the loop from taking over your daily life? It's called meditation. In simple term, meditation can be defined as intentional thinking. To meditate is to think over, reflect, consider, and engage in contemplation. Therefore, to break free from the daily loop of the mind, intentionally keep at the forefront of your mind new things that are coming to you, new ideas, the revelations you have been shown, night dreams, words that came to you from out of the blue, etc. Intentionally engage these things. And because your mind cannot think two things at once, you will force it to engage the new rather than the loop it enjoys doing. Your mind may revolt by trying to make you feel bored, but that's a good thing. The state of boredom is like you're standing by the gate of the next big thing that is about to happen for you. Boredom is what must happen to you before you step into solitude and the enduring bliss that solitude brings. Boredom means you have pushed through the loop, and your mind, having lost grip on the loop, is just fussing. It wants you to go back to play with the loop. That's all it knows. It enjoys doing that. This is where you let the mind know you're the boss and that you have the power to take back your life from the loop. And by the way, this is also how you disengage from the loop of the systemic rat race of the world called the Matrix. This is how you break away from the Matrix. No one has ever broken free from the Matrix or the loop of the mind who has not engaged the power of boredom. And it always begins with the realization that there is something more to life than just running around trying to fill your quota of nothingness and vanity. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to this channel to receive notifications of new videos.